Hey guys, this is TJ for IGN with another hands-on preview of Imperator Rome. This time we're playing as Rome, and we're going to go over some of the basic government mechanics and stuff like that. As you can see, there's monarch power, manpower, and gold to manage, as well as tyranny, which is kind of a measure of how much you're going against the will of the people. Which, you know, you'll have some problems with your authority probably if you let your tyranny get too high. Here we can see our government screen. So this is our current console. This shows our civilization level, which kind of measures your progress from being a more disorganized society to more of an urbanized kind of classical empire, which is something that you'll probably be striving for if you want to grow big and powerful. You can see our national ideas here. Rome starts with 2 military and 1 civic, and then you get some extra bonuses if you match up the idea types to the idea slots. You can see a risk of a civil war or a revolt. The difference being a civil war is where one of your powerful governors or generals possibly decides he wants to be the ruler and kind of starts a civil war for that. You know, you think of Julius Caesar. Whereas a revolt might be more like the people in a specific province aren't especially happy with being part of the Roman Empire, or maybe they want to break away and form their own country. You've got all the different pop types here. Everybody in your empire is either going to be a citizen, a freeman, a slave, or a tribesman, and each of those give you different resources. They have different advantages and disadvantages. See, all of our provinces here have governors, and each of these governors can kind of have a policy in place that's what they're trying to accomplish within their province. You start out with 5 as Rome, but you'll eventually probably have way more than that. Here on the government screen, we can see, these offices like, censor and tribune of the plebs, which they each give you some sort of scalable bonus to your entire civilization based on the skill of the person who's occupying them. Currently, all these offices are appointed. They're not elected, except for the consul. You can just kind of plug someone in there. Which is not completely historically accurate, but it does give you a lot of control over how your government runs. Consular elections currently are held every 5 years. With the pace of the game, if they were every year, I can imagine it would get to feeling a little bit spammy. There's also the 5 factions within the Republic, and every character, pretty much every governor, every general is going to belong to one of these factions. So, if you appoint a powerful general who's from the populist faction and go conquer a lot of stuff with him, the populist faction is going to become more powerful, and you might have to start passing more populist favorable laws or taking more, actions that the populists favor because you've indirectly made them more powerful by making their guy such a big deal. There's a lot of laws you can use to customize your government here. Pretty much any law change or like any action like going to war or like annexing one of your feudatory vassals in a republic is going to have to go through the Senate. You can't just do it automatically, so you are going to have to kind of work with getting these senatorial factions on your side, or at least getting enough of them on your side that you can have a majority. There was one way around this I found, and that's if you stay constantly at war and your ruler is popular, you can vote yourself dictator, which is kind of makes it a lot easier to get stuff passed. There's some famous historical reforms in here, like the military side. You can eventually implement the Marian reforms, which are a very important kind of shift in how the Roman military was set up. They all kind of have their own advantages and disadvantages. And then you've got your military traditions. This is kind of what sets your army apart from other armies. Each culture group gets a special thing, like it's walled cities for the Latin culture group. It makes your cities harder to take. And then as you kind of progress down, you get more and more bonuses that are kind of historically based. Technology is going to be split up into advances and inventions. Advances are just kind of like your technology growing over time, and they give you kind of incremental bonuses every time you achieve a new tech level, whereas inventions are things you actually pick that give you kind of a more nuanced bonus. Inventions do get more expensive over time. Of course, if you buy a lot of inventions on the same tech level, that can get to be pretty expensive. Religion, see I've selected Pluto here. It's kind of just a way to select a temporary bonus for your civilization. You also use it to increase stability. And then they've done away with economy sliders from some previous Paradox games, but you can tailor your economy with sort of pseudo sliders where there's like a high, middle, and low for things like maintenance and taxation and stuff that all give you certain benefits and disadvantages. Trade is also very cool. That could almost be its own video where you can kind of build almost a talent tree for your nation based on what trade goods you're importing and exporting. But anyway, that's how Rome and republics in general work. It's looking pretty cool, and if you want to see more about Imperator Rome, check out our other preview videos. For everything else, stick with IGN.